about back into the All-Star?
How do I feel about what?
Back into the All-Star game?
Oh, I mean, it's like I said, it's always an honor to be considered amongst the best players in the league, and been here twice before, and having to go and get it and make it a third time the way that I had to, it made it even better.
So many Chinese young players like the style you play and your team play. So do you have some suggestion to them?
To like rising stars players?
Young players?
Just keep working. Just keep working. I'm a product of that. I wasn't highly recruited. I didn't go to a high major school. Wasn't expected to have a great career in the NBA. So, I've always just depended on my foundation, which is my work ethic and my trust and belief in myself. And it's guided me to where I am now. So, I would encourage all kids to have that type of foundation because it's something you can always lean on.
Speaking of that, and young kids, Donovan Mitchell, someone I know you said some good things about. I'm with the Jazz. So, what have you seen from him?
I think, obviously every draft pick that comes into the league has talent, a lot of confidence usually, but it's different when they're able to perform not only from the start in the league, but to be able to do it consistently all the way up to this break. We've played at least 60 games and he's still going strong. So and getting better, and not just individually, but their team has won I think 10 or 11 games straight. So I think that says a lot about the type of player he is. I got some options. I think I might switch it up. I might come out there in something different every quarter. So let's see.
What's up with the vape collection? What do you think about that?
I wish it was a collection, but it was a collab that I'm proud of. I remember as a kid with the Lil Wayne mixtapes with Joel Santana, I Can't Feel My Face, and on a lot of the cover art, they was wearing Bape hoodies and Bape jeans and shoes and stuff like that, and that was kind of my first experience with it. So, for it to still be around and as strong as it is in the culture of hip-hop and sports now, I'm happy that I could be the one to bring it to the court on such a big stage for All-Star Weekend.
I talked to Johnny Bryant a little bit, and he told me, I used to be in back in the day, man, like y'all was playing, and I think he said it was like wood backboard.
Wood backboard, tape square.
Take people coming to Oakland, man, and now being in your first All-Star game in California, man. And talk about what that means, man.
It means a lot. Like I said, it's always an honor to be an All-Star period, but to be here for a third time in my 6 years, it's truly an honor. In California, a lot of my family was able to make the trip without it being a hassle. Some people was able to drive up a short drive from Oakland, but going back to Johnny, that's my big brother. I remember literally being in the 7th grade, getting ready for an AAU tournament, and Johnny was in college at Utah, and they would come back in scrimmages outside, on outside courts with no net. That type of struggle, that type of background, and I'm happy to see his success as a coach as well.
Dan, with Jimmy Butler coming over from the east to the west, what kind of strides have you seen the Wolves make with his addition?
They're a completely different team when he's on the floor. We've had a lot of success against them, and since he's gotten there, it's been a lot harder this season. I just say that.
With Carl, have you seen any strides?
Quite a few places hasn't hosted an All-Star game. What do you think about the idea of Portland hosting an All-Star game sometime potentially?
I think it'd be cool. I think Portland is one of those cities that people look past. You look at the market size and you look at a destination that people will want to be. I don't think it's viewed as a tourist attraction, but I think Portland would be a lot of people's style. I think it would be a lot of people's speed, more than they might even know. But I think it'd be really cool for Portland to host an All-Star game.
Who are some of the other
That'd be great.
Who are some of the other better lyricists in the league?
I haven't heard a lot of people's work, but I think Iman Shumpert can rap. I know C.J. Miles can rap. I heard a little bit of Lonzo Ball stuff. He can rap. Lou Will, he can rap. It's a lot of people that's putting stuff out. For the most part, everybody putting out decent music.
Talk about your mindset right now, man. You seem like you locked in. Y'all just had the big win with Golden State. You admit mentally right now as a player at this stage of your career?
Just do the things I need to do to help my team win. You know, I think coming in the league, everybody's like, "Oh, I want to be Rookie of the Year. I want to make the All-Star teams and all this stuff." And you kind of get so caught up in, you know, stacking those things up, you know, for your individual self, that you kind of, I don't want to say lose sight, but you don't realize how much this is really about winning. And I think I'm at the age now where I'm looking at people who are on my career arc, and you know, and I'm seeing the success that they're having with their teams, and I'm like, that's what I want. And I don't want to be one of those guys that does this and has this record and does all these things, and I don't at least give myself a chance to compete for a championship. If I get there and we don't win it, then you know that it happens. You know, a lot of people had to go see about Michael Jordan. A lot of people had to go see about Shaq and Kobe and, you know, those great teams. But I at least want to, you know, I have a strong desire to at least give myself a chance to be there and take a shot at it. I think just because we're all human, and you know, as competitors, we want to win. If you feel like you get fouled, you want them to call the foul every time. And I think sometimes as players, we forget how hard their job can be. You know, it's at the pace that we play, it's hard to miss a call. You know, and then you got guys tricking the referees sometimes. Like, we're clever too, so it's like it's a tough job for them. And I think when we get caught up in our competitive nature, we forget that they're not just robots and with stripes. You know, they're people too. So you got to think as a man, if somebody comes screaming at you every 3 plays, you're gonna react in your own way. You know, maybe I'm not gonna make the next call, or maybe I'm gonna stand my ground. And I think it's something that I think will get better over time. But you know, I think both have to do a better job of understanding.
You had mentioned that you were interested in playing with Draymond in the All-Star. I know you guys are talking in practice. You guys talk about kind of describe about your interaction.
I mean, me and Draymond, we interact. You know, I don't interact too much with players around the league, even the ones that I know. But I would say I speak to Draymond as much as anybody. Well, probably not Tim Frazier more than anybody, but as far as players not on my team, I talk to Draymond, you know, a lot, I guess. I haven't heard it.
Damian, it's been a while since the Blazers played the Sixers. What's been your take on how that young team has been doing?
I didn't hear the question.
It's been a while since you guys played the Sixers, but what's been your take on how that young team has been playing as of late?
I think they look good. You know, obviously as a young team, it takes time to learn how to win. You know, what type of things you have to do consistently, even on the nights you don't feel good, even on the nights where the ball might not be going in. The mature, really high-level teams, they find a way to get it done. And I think for them, that's what their record shows. You know, you play against them, and it's hard to play against them. You know, they're really talented. They play hard. They play for a great coach. It's just those nights where you might not have it, and having that understanding and that experience that'll lead you to more wins. And I think if, you know, once they get to that point, that's when, you know, maybe 9 or 10 games that they've let slip, maybe they win those games.
CJ McCollum will join you one of these years?
I do think so. And, you know, each year you see teams getting 2, 3. Golden State got 4 guys in the last few years. But you look at it and you say, why is that happening? And it has a lot to do with team success. And I think me and CJ, we just have to take that challenge of making our team win more games. And I think when we do that, we'll be rewarded with, you know, both of us being able to make it. And if we really want to make that happen, where, you know, we can both be here, then we'll do whatever it takes to win more games. And, you know, I feel like this season we moved closer in that direction. You know, in the past we haven't even been in position, I guess, to get one, because I didn't make it the last 2 years. But I think if we keep on improving, eventually we'll get to the point where, you know, people will look at what our team is doing and they'll say, how are they doing this? And then, you know, our names will come up. So, you know, hopefully one day it'll happen.
What does it mean for you to be back in the All-Star game?
I don't know.
All-Star game. You think it's fair to expect guys to play all out in the exhibition game?
I mean, I kind of don't think it's fair to expect people to go out there and treat it like a like they're playing for the team that they're under contract for, because this is the one time in an 82-game season plus playoffs and preseason and training camp where we actually get a break. You know, it's necessary to take a mental break along with a physical break from what we do every day. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. So I don't think it's fair to, you know, ask guys to go out there and say, play like you would play for the Trailblazers in an All-Star game. You know, my loyalty is to my team. I got to be healthy for my team, and I got to do what's best for my team. So, I mean, obviously go out there, and sometimes when you mess around too much, that's how people end up having, you know, injuries and stuff like that. So you got to go out there and play and have a respect for the game. But I don't think it's necessary to go out there and, you know, go crazy like it's a playoff game or nothing.
What does it mean for you to be back against the circuit?
I think Donovan Mitchell. I mean, I like what Ben Simmons is doing as well. I think both of those guys, if Ben Simmons won it, I wouldn't be mad. Like, I would respect it, you know, because he deserves it as well. But I think the fact that I'm a guard, we like size, and his game is similar to the kind of game I play. Being in the Western Conference, you know, how he's not shy, you know, leading the team. Nights where he misses a lot of shots, he just keeps playing. When the game is on the line, he has confidence to do and make the plays that the team needs to be made to win games. And you got guys that have been in the league a lot longer than him that don't even have the balls to do some of the stuff that he's doing. So, you know, he's just my personal pick. How important is it to me? I think it's really important, you know, because the community is where it starts, and that's, you know, where people learn. In my neighborhood, that's where I learned a lot of things and how to be how I am, along with the family that I grew up with. And for me, I just like to have that impact, because I know, you know, how things can be. I feel like I got a good idea of the kind of guidance that kids need to be able to function and flourish in any room that they enter. So it's really important.
What does it mean for you to do with ask that, because Russell's a guy who seems like whether he goes into the game with a motivation or in the game, he finds something to take it to another level. What is that like for you against that?
You just know, you know, when you see him, you just know that you got to be ready. You know, I think as an NBA player, you come in and you telling yourself, I gotta lock in, I gotta be focused. We need to win this game. But when you play against guys like Russ, I think it's a little something extra there, because you know if you don't come correct, it's going to be a long night.
Is he a guy that you can see get set off by something in the game, or is that just him?
I mean, I think you see Russ get set off so often that, I mean, you can't see it. You know, every little thing, he just so on edge, you know, and so competitive and locked into the game that it don't take much at all to light a fire under him. It's great to be back. I mean, it's always an honor to be amongst the best players in the league.
Dane, what's up, bro?
What's up with you, bro?
One more Dane up here, too.
What's up, bro?
You on a Whole Out podcast.
See y'all.
I want to know, what three rappers that are out there right now are you better than?
What three rappers am I better than? He trying to put me on the spot.
No, because we rock with you. We rock with you. We're music guys, man.
I don't know. I ain't gonna say three rappers I'm better than. I think a lot of the styles that you have out there is so different. And the way that I rap is more like the music that I'm a fan of. Like, I'm a Tupac fan, a Nas fan, Andre 3000, Biggie, Common, Juvenile. Like, that's more of my speed. So, like, my love for music is because of that. So my style is gonna favor in that direction. So I don't compare myself to them because of the greatness behind those names, and I don't compare myself to current artists because that's not the kind of music that I make, you know, and it's not what I listen to primarily. So I couldn't even give you three names that I think I'm better than.
Who do you listen to right now? Like, who else inspires you? The name that you listed, greatest of all time. Who are today's rap names that you like?
Today, I'm a huge fan of Kendrick, J. Cole, Drake. I like Future. I think somebody that people sleep on is Young Thug. Like, I think Young Thug, they think he's just saying a bunch of nothing, but Young Thug is talented. So I would say those dudes. But J. Cole and Kendrick probably my favorite right now.
Do you have a
What would be
playlist
the
going
best
on?
thing about Oakland, California? I got family in North Oakland, Bush Ride, where I grew up, my dad's from Oakland. What's the best part about Oakland?
I think the best part about Oakland is just the culture, like I guess the artsy side of it, where you got music mixed with sports, mixed with real neighborhoods. So you kind of mixed into everything, where it's like all my cousins rapped, but they aren't rappers. Like, they played sports, they went to school and did stuff. They don't have music out, but if you go in the studio, they'll be able to rap. And if we go to a boxing gym, they'll be able to box. So it's like, if somebody, it's just like, so basically Oakland just prepare you for whatever. Like, I think a lot of my success in the league is because I don't worry about nothing. Like, I make my music because I like to do music, and I believe in what I'm saying. I believe it's good. When I play, I don't get on the court and look at dudes like they too much or nothing. It just is what it is. So I think Oakland just prepare you for whatever. It ain't no fear in your heart, because you've seen the best of everything with the music out there, and you definitely seen the worst. So.
Do you have a playlist coming into All-Star Weekend? Do you have a playlist coming into All-Star Weekend?
Not really. I mix it up.
Has the new format added any new electricity in the locker room to the game this year?
I don't think so. I mean, it's still a pool of players that get picked from both conferences, and after that, it is what it is. Everybody that's gotten this far, regardless of the draft or all that, you still an all-star. So.
What's your favorite part of this weekend? Your talented peers, the Hall of Famers, the legends. What really excites you about being an all-star and being around this atmosphere?
Just being amongst the best players in the league, and just enjoying it. It's a time to relax and have fun and just appreciate where we are, appreciate what we've been able to accomplish in our NBA careers.
The meeting you had with Paul Allen recently, what assurances did he give you?
That's none of your business.
Do you promise never to drop 50 points in 3 quarters?
The best NBA dunk of all time? I don't know if this is the best all time, but Tom Chambers had a super nice dunk. He might have got a little bit of a lift off somebody's chest, but that's one of the best dunks of all time.
Best dunker of all time, history.
Vince Carter.
Now, please tell us, you're one of the fan favorites. What's been one crazy bet on or off the court that you've made? It can be as silly as socks or ice buckets, but what's one crazy bet you made on or off the court?
I'm not a betting man.
Dame, you're a guy.
Not a betting man.
You're a guy who's played with a chip on his shoulder. You got taken lower. You went to a lower school.
Yeah.
As you get more and more accolades, like you continue to pile up, how do you keep that edge?
You got to find stuff. It's never hard for me to find stuff to get on edge about, and I think that's the key to having a long career, and the key to staying hungry is always finding something to light that fire.
What are you finding now?
That's easy. I can give you a whole list of things, but one thing for me is I saw, after I got picked for the All-Star game, the next morning the discussion I saw on the TV show, the discussion was, should Damian Lillard have made the All-Star game? That's something simple. So, it's always things you can find to keep yourself driven, and, it's wood on the fire.
For BET, for the culture, please give us some bars of your favorite song that helped you get through the games. What's some of your bars that you recite?
I don't know if there's no bars out there that help me get through a game. I'm gonna get through the game, but I will. You said some personal bars?
Your favorite bars?
Some personal bars. I want to give y'all some DMX, because them some of my favorite bars. Oh man, y'all can find my bars on Apple Music. I just put my second album out, confirmed, on all digital platforms. Go tap in. But one of my favorite bars is a Kanye line. And he said, "I'm killing y'all on that lyrical mayonnaise colored Benz, I push miracle whips." That's like one of my favorite Kanye lines.
And I must say, is it hard for
This season, who would you bring on your team?
If I could pick a rookie to bring on my team, That's a good question. I would take. I'm trying to think of a big. What's a big man, like some rookies that's big? Yeah, give me some bigs. I mean, he like me and CJ, so I think he good where he at. I'd probably say John Collins from Atlanta. Because of the athleticism, he gets a lot of second and third chances for his team, catching lobs. He got a nice jumper, but just his demeanor on the court, I can rock with his demeanor on the court, playing against him and watching him. I think Blake is pretty funny.
Most extra on the court, Shaq or Charles Barkley?
Extra? Shaq.
Most dominant rookie, Donovan Mitchell or Ben Simmons?
Dominant? The most dominant? Probably Ben Simmons, across the board. That's a tough one. I think the Rockets the 1 seed right now, right? And James just coming off a 60-point triple-double, so I have to go with James right now.
Can you do a quick shout-out? Can you do a quick shout-out to the fans?
Shout out to the fans in Hong Kong. See y'all.
Now it's Chinese New Year. How do you know about Chinese culture? Like the Chinese culture, about the Chinese New Year Eve?
I know that each year for Chinese New Year, the animal changes. This year is the year of the dog, right? I go to China every summer, so for the last 5 years, I've been there a lot.
So any special moment in your trip to China, like impressed you a lot in China? Any moment or the bad?
I think the most impressive thing is just how much they know about you. They don't have access to us the way Americans do. They can't come to games and come to stuff like this. So, you go there one time a year and they got your jersey. They know the shoes. They know the story behind the colorways. They know where you're from. They know your whole life story. So it's impressive to see how much they know about NBA players from afar.
And you met a lot of young players, Chinese young players. How do you feel about them? Those young guys who love to play basketball?
I mean, like I said earlier, I think it's important for kids to understand how important it is to work hard and believe in yourself. But for them, being over there, they play really hard. When I'm in China, I see how hard those guys play, and I would definitely encourage them to continue to do that. Playing hard to get you a long way.
A lot of athletes find it difficult to cross over into music and vice versa. Why do you think that the music game doesn't support athletes or take them as serious artists?
I think athletes sometimes have trouble crossing over because musicians are like, this is what we do. You play basketball and you think you can just, come over here and do what we do. It's not that simple. So, you got to prove yourself to them. And, I think a lot of times with athletes, they come over and they're not 100% invested in it. And, it's really not in them. They don't know the history all the time. It's a lot of things you got to take the time to pay attention to and to have followed, that I followed my whole life, to where it's just like, I know that I really love music. I was doing music almost as long as I've been hooping, so I think you just got to be able to earn their respect, because the same thing as if one of them said, all right, I'm about to go try to make it in the NBA. We're going to be like, yeah, you made a hit, but I don't know if you really can come over here and do this. This took a whole life of work, so they just see it the same way. And, they would have to earn our respect if they wanted to come try to play in the league, and, we should have to do the same, so I think that's normal.
Okay, we're going to wrap it up there, Dan. Thank you.
Dan, why'd you have to drop 50 and 3